I've told students, if when they got out of school, they got a punch card with 20 punches on it, and that's all the investment decisions they got to make in their entire life, they would get very rich because they would think very hard about each one. And you don't need 20 right decisions to get very rich. 4 or 5 will probably do it over time.
Today we are here to set the stage for one who doesn't need to boast his accomplishment and is a great benefactor. Yes, we are canvassing Mr. Warren Buffett, all otherwise called the Oracle of Omaha. Investment wandering stocks wizard, Genesis philanthropist, scrupulous investment professor are the word synonyms to Mr. Buffett. Hello and welcome to Money Invest. Today we'll be discussing on how the master of investments, Warren Buffett, chooses on what to invest on. So make sure to watch this video till the end to learn how you should pick your business. Make sure to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of the awesome content. Without further delay, let's dive straight in. Mr. Buffett transformed into the world's highest price stock value at $316,700 shared in August 2020. Surprisingly, Warren Buffett has been an inspiration to all the young new investors, despite their age, for the way he picks his business to invest in. Currently, Warren Buffett is the business wizard well known for his investment strategies and his intellectual business suggestions. But there was a time when he applied for Howard University and got rejected at the age of 19. But at the last minute, he applied to Columbia University and there he met his investing guru, Benjamin Graham. He read his book, Intelligent Investor. Learning from Graham, it gave him a new vision towards the investment policy. He's a great author and writes quotations based on real-life experiences which have changed the vision of many investors. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. We all are aware of the fact that Warren Buffett is one of the world's richest people. As per the Forbes list of billionaires, this grand tour was a kind of roller coaster with ups and downs, but the merchant king enjoyed all the peaks and valleys. Warren Edward Buffett, because of his investment preferences and strategies, enjoys the well-deserved epithet Oracle of Omaha. The first thought that comes to our mind is the self-coded words, and that's all there is to invest is picking good stocks at good times and staying with them as long as they remain good companies. The principle of the long-term investment itself suggests that investors starting early should be patient and let their money grow. Warren Buffett's 70% of his portfolio value consists of Ford stocks. Buffett's top holdings are Apple. Berkshire owns 5.5% of Apple stocks, more than $150 billion of the worth. Berkshire owns 12.6% of Bank of America stocks, that's $25 billion approx of American Express, and owns 9.3% of Coca-Cola. When Warren Buffett turned 6, he started selling packs of chewing gum. Buffett, along with his family, was fond of reading newspapers and could be a more apt part-time job to do, make money, and starting to deliver newspapers. The job of delivering newspapers showcases his intellectual move as he managed to deliver newspapers to the Washington Post, which he has even mentioned in his autobiography. I like to work by myself, where I could spend my time thinking about things I wanted to think. Warren Buffett sold golf balls, peanuts, and popcorn, and even stamps to make $53,000 by the age of 16. These business ventures and investments at a young age gave him all he deserved. Buffett was very fond of Coca-Cola, and this beverage proved to bring him the best shot of investment, as the fact struck his mind that there was no competition to Coca-Cola's market share. In contrast, this successful brand ate the potential of its competitors and thus expanded drastically. With this, Coca-Cola proved to be Berkshire Hathaway's third largest holding, and in 1988, more than $1 billion of Coca-Cola shares, equivalent to 6.2% of the company, it was bought by Buffett Berkshire. After the 1987 market crash, Buffett believed it was a good company with a high value that could bear all the competition and could recover easily. Thus, Buffett preaches his investors to always invest in the stock in companies which is completely understood by the investors. Thus, trading skills of the investors are tested when they choose the correct stocks and have faith in its strength that it will withstand its competitors. Thus, in Warren Buffett's quotes, "I am 1/4 Coca-Cola," reveals his love for his weird food habit of consuming 5 cans of Coca-Cola daily. Berkshire Hathaway is a holding company owned and run by the most appreciated business investor, Mr. Warren Edward Buffett. Since 1960, Berkshire Hathaway had a market capitalization of over $600 billion, but this was not the same as the condition of the company. Previously, this was a group of textile milling plants, which was previously owned by 2 Massachusetts textile firms. In 1965, Buffett took full control of the company and transformed it into a holdings company for further investments. This transformation of Berkshire Hathaway is the best example of buying undervalued companies, which is the key of his trading style. Warren Buffett lays stress on temperament and not intellect. All active and passive investments is approached by Warren Buffett on a principle such as number 1, characteristics of investment that help to protect investors from losing money. If a stock trades for $8 per share, but the asset of that company is worth $12 per share, then $4 will be the margin of safety. Number 2, Warren Buffett avoids buying struggling businesses as they may be cheap. Number 3, young and new investors, as per Buffett, should not follow the crowd and always should not have to behave adversely. And number 4, should do personal research in buying and selling stocks. Number 5, Buffett loves when his favorite stock price falls and does not fear the ups and downs of the price of shares. Number 6, Buffett prefers and supports very strongly the long-term share, which forms the basis of all his business. Value investing approach is followed by Warren Buffett. Buffett buys the stocks of a company that is less than its actual worth and expects these presently undervalued companies would gradually attain their full value, which would result in profit for the value investors. When we take an overview on the life of Warren Buffett, we would discover that he started his investment at a very young age of merely 11 years old, when he invested his savings on $25 on a pinball machine in 1946. His strategy was to install these pinball machines in barbershops so that the waiting customers would play for their time being. After the investment, he started his best business and installed many more pinball machines and earned much more. The investment is a great source of inspiration to invest at an early stage of the life of the young investors. Warren Buffett emphasizes avoiding following the day-to-day fluctuations of the stock market. This may let the investors run into problems. It's just that the investor should know more about the company than the market. This would not let the investors pay attention to the market for buying and selling shares. Buffett also suggests that the general economy should not affect the investors. Not even the best investors can predict how the market will behave. The very next moment predictions made are just limiting and self-fulfilling. When the investors assume the direction of the economy and select the stocks that fulfill their demands. Buffett urges that the investors should focus on buying a business and not its stocks. This means that an investor should completely understand the operations of the business at a reasonable price. The business should be favorable for the long-term view. Buffett's investment policy can be coded as a purchase of quality businesses at fair prices. Warren Buffett chooses businesses that he understands, that can be bought at a reasonable price with economic protection, and are predictable and proven earnings. He considers the company unpredictable if it has faced operating loss in a fiscal year. His 2 rules are the basis of his investment decisions, which are known as the Golden Rules. Rule number 1, don't lose money, and rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Investment in businesses that are predictable greatly proves to bear the least loss. Warren emphasizes on price is what you pay, and value is what you get. The margin of safety is the one measure that assists Buffett to take a very different approach towards coding the stock. Most market investors give little attention to the fact whether the stock's quoted price reflects its intrinsic value or not. They assume today's status quo to be the reflection of the company's value. On the other hand, Buffett uses bottom-up analysis studies that are company's past finance history and then makes assumptions and prepares a rough estimate. The value of the stock, if a substantial discount is found, he buys them. Furthermore, to sum up, we can vocalize him and say that he buys standard businesses at incredible and sensible prices. In Buffett's words, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Now let's wrap it up for today. Have a good day and be ready for our next video. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get notified by pressing the bell icon.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost now.